Did you just witness it live? What really happened tonight that made millions of ARMYs scream, cry, and fall in love all over again? Was this the most legendary comeback moment in BTS history? Don't scroll. Read until the end, and tell us what your heart felt in the comments. Like, subscribe, and share if your heart is still trembling after watching Jin tear the stage apart tonight. What if I told you that tonight's concert wasn't just a performance? It was a storm, an emotional explosion that nobody was ready for? What if Jungkook and J-Hope's return wasn't just about music, but about rewriting the very heartbeat of BTS? ARMYs around the world witnessed something far beyond imagination when the long-awaited Jin concert took over the stage. It wasn't just a reunion, it was a rebirth. A moment that blurred the line between dream and reality as the lights dimmed and the crowd began to chant in unison. The atmosphere grew electric. The opening notes hit, and there they were. Jin radiant and strong after his military discharge. J-Hope, his charisma bursting through every move, and Jungkook, glowing with an intensity that melted every soul in the arena. The trio stood under the golden lights, and for a moment time froze. The roar of the audience turned into tears, screams, and laughter all at once. Was this really happening? Were we truly seeing the legendary 3J together again on one stage, singing like they never left? Jin started the night with his smooth yet commanding voice, opening with a song that spoke of waiting, love, and the quiet pain of separation. His voice cracked slightly, just enough to show his emotion, and ARMYs could feel every note pierce through their hearts. Jungkook followed, his deep, soulful tone wrapping around Jin's melody like it was always meant to be. When J-Hope jumped in, rapping with an energy that made the entire arena bounce, it was as if BTS' heartbeat had returned stronger than ever. The trio didn't just perform, they reconnected hearts that had been waiting for this exact moment for years. There were tears, there were screams, there were gasps so loud they could be heard even through the live stream. Jungkook, in one emotional moment, stopped singing and simply looked at Jin, smiling with a glint of water in his eyes. It wasn't just a look, it was a silent thank you, a promise that even after years apart, their bond remained unbroken. J-Hope reached over, pulling both of them into a tight hug as the lights softened and the fans raised their light sticks like a sea of stars. "Are you happy to see us again?" J-Hope shouted, his voice echoing through the arena. The fans' response was thunderous, so loud that even Jin laughed, covering his ears before grinning wide. Jungkook added softly, "We missed you more than words can say." The crowd exploded in tears once again. What nobody expected, however, was the emotional confession that followed. Jin paused before the next song, his expression suddenly serious. "You know," he began slowly, "when we were apart, there were days I wondered if I could ever stand here again with them." The audience fell silent. "But the love you gave us never disappeared. It only grew. That's why we're here tonight. Because of you." The cheers that followed shook the ground. Then came the surprise that broke the internet. As the trio prepared for what fans thought would be their final song, the screen behind them flickered, and the faces of RM, Suga, Jimin, and V appeared live from different locations, joining in through a pre-recorded harmony. The crowd screamed as if the world had stopped spinning. It was the full circle moment every ARMY dreamed of. A sign that no matter where they are, BTS is still one. The concert continued to escalate emotionally. Jin, a mashup of their solo hits with brand new verses, brought everyone to tears. Jungkook's voice trembled during the bridge, his emotions raw and unfiltered. Jin walked toward him mid-song, placed a hand on his shoulder, and whispered something only Jungkook could hear. He nodded, then smiled through his tears, finishing the note so powerfully that even J-Hope wiped his eyes. Fans watching online flooded social media with posts, calling it the most beautiful reunion in BTS history. Clips of Jungkook's tears and Jin's comforting gestures instantly trended worldwide. 3J back together and Jin legends dominated the top trends within minutes. But beyond the headlines, what truly broke hearts was the visible connection between them. How their laughter, their inside jokes, their glances carried the weight of years, pain, and endless love. When J-Hope performed his solo part, the stage turned into a firestorm of passion. His dance was sharper, his energy unmatched, but it was the emotion in his eyes that left fans speechless. "This is what we dreamed of," he shouted. This is what we waited for. The crowd echoed his words back like a prayer as the final notes played. Jimin, Jungkook, and J-Hope stood hand in hand. The lights faded into soft purples and blues, mimicking the army bomb glow that filled the air. "We're not done," Jungkook said softly. "This is just the beginning of our next chapter." The words sent chills down everyone's spine. The arena was silent, hearts pounding, eyes glistening. The concert ended, but the emotions refused to fade. Fans stayed in their seats long after the trio left the stage, replaying every second in their minds. Was it real? Did we just witness the return of the soul of BTS? The world outside buzzed with excitement, disbelief, and an overwhelming sense of love. And one night, Jin proved that music isn't just sound. It's memory, pain, healing, and hope. It's about finding light after darkness. And Jimin, Jungkook, and J-Hope reminded everyone that no matter what changes, BTS remains eternal. Not just as artists, but as brothers whose bond will never fade. So tell us, ARMY, what part made you cry? What moment made your heart stop? Were you one of those who screamed when Jungkook's tears fell? Or when Jin smiled through his own emotions? Let's keep this moment alive. Comment below what you felt. Share this story with your fellow ARMYs and subscribe to stay updated, because if tonight proved anything, it's that BTS always comes back stronger, louder, and more united than ever before. And maybe, just maybe, this isn't the end. It's the beginning of something even greater. The lights had already dimmed, the echo of the last note still trembling in the air, but the ARMYs refused to move. It wasn't over for them. The magic of Jin still lingered in their chests like the afterglow of a supernova. Every flicker of the light sticks, every trembling breath, carried the same unspoken thought. Did we just witness the rebirth of BTS right before our eyes? The cameras backstage caught Jimin, Jungkook, and J-Hope walking off the stage, drenched in sweat, their eyes glossy with tears and laughter. Jungkook wiped his face with his sleeve, smiling shyly, but the exhaustion couldn't hide the overwhelming emotion inside him. Jin looked at him, eyes soft. "You did well," he said, his voice breaking slightly. J-Hope, ever the energy source, clapped them both on the shoulders. "We did this together, right? This is what ARMY waited for." And just like that, the three embraced again, not as idols, not as performers, but as brothers who had survived everything together. Moments later, the backstage area filled with the faint sound of fans still chanting their names. Jin, Jungkook, Hobi. The three turned to listen. You could see Jin fighting back tears again. "They didn't leave," he whispered. "They're still out there." Jungkook looked down, hands trembling slightly. "We owe them everything," he murmured. "Let's go back out." Without hesitation, they ran back to the stage. The lights suddenly reignited. The crowd erupted into screams of disbelief. Nobody expected an encore. Jin raised the mic to his lips, voice cracking with emotion. "We couldn't leave without saying one more thing." The arena fell silent again. Then Jungkook stepped forward. "Even when we're apart, our hearts are always connected," he said softly. "You waited for us, and now it's our turn to stay by your side." J-Hope lifted the mic next. "No matter where we go from here, BTS is forever. You, ARMY, are the reason we shine." Then the music started again, a soft piano intro that ARMYs instantly recognized. A stripped-down version of Spring Day. The sound of the first notes alone made thousands cry. Jungkook's voice trembled on the opening line, and when Jin joined in, it was as if time had reversed. Every emotion that had been buried over the years came flooding back. The nostalgia, the longing, the endless love that never faded as J